Happy Saturday.
This week on our audio-only podcast that we record right here at this round table of dim lighting, our guest was Harley Morenstein of Epic Mealtime. That's how you make it dimmer. Make it a little bit dimmer.
A little bit?
A little bit dimmer.
Okay.
Yeah, no, bring it back up. There
Okay.
it is. That's nice.
The Sauce Boss.
Anyway, a lot of people already know this about
Well, you didn't say
him.
click through to SoundCloud or iTunes to listen to it.
I just thought that was assumed at this point.
It's just assumed, people. You know how to listen and leave a review or comment.
A lot of people know this about Harley, that he was a substitute teacher before he became the Sauce Boss. And we get into that and a lot of other things with him on this week's conversation. But as he was talking about that, I was thinking about the fact that my mom was a substitute teacher for us. Do you remember this?
That's right. I do remember that. And it was awkward for me being your friend. So I never asked you, how was it for you? I mean, the clash of those worlds, your mom all of a sudden being your teacher and substitute teacher, because that's a different thing. Substitute teacher, basically the definition of that is the fake teacher that you can take full advantage of.
Target.
Do whatever you want, right?
Not my mama. Now,
Diane.
you know my mama. And she is a very sweet woman. She's one of the sweetest women on earth.
At this point, you're thinking she's watching.
Oh, I know she's watching.
Okay.
That's not why I'm saying it.
She's sweet.
That is a fact. But she was a teacher before she was a substitute teacher. She was an actual teacher and full-time teacher. And then after my brother and I got to a certain age, she became a substitute teacher, and she did not hesitate to come and substitute a class that I was going to be in for that day. And I didn't know this. Now, first of all, I kind of feel like the age that we're at, our relationship with our parents was a little bit different than it is with our kids. You know, I probably over-communicate with my kids. So, like, if my son was in a class and I was going to be a substitute that day, I would, like, pull him aside in the morning while we were eating breakfast. I was like, Locke, today I'm going to be your substitute. I'm going to be there all day, and we need to talk about this, and we need to, like, let's just be prepared for, I want you to be emotionally prepared for me being there the whole day, your dad.
Because it could be weird.
Yeah. In 1988, whenever it was, there was no talk like that. My mom just shows up.
You're in class.
She's like bringing me to school, and then instead of like going around the little circle in the back, she parks in the parking lot, and then we just get out and go in together. I'm like, well, what's going on? She's like, I'm your substitute today. It's like I find out in the moment, and then I sit down in class, and the kids come in, and she's like, I am Miss McLaughlin, and you are not going to take advantage of me today. And she, like, goes on this speech. She has this speech.
Head them off at the pass kind of thing.
Yeah, and I remember later that day at lunch, one of the kids came up to me and was like, Rhett, your mama is mean. I was like, yeah, she is, isn't she? And she said,
yes, she is.
In her mind, she was like, I know how it works with substitutes. I'm not going to be taken advantage of. So from then on out, whenever she had this little speech that she would do, and it worked every single time. Kids were quiet the entire day.
But it wasn't awkward for you? You were just like, whatever.
It was very awkward the first time, because I was like, this is like she's possessed. This is a different personality. This is substitute mama. And maybe it wasn't actually my mom.
No, it was.
Okay.
Because remember, later she would talk about it. She would have memories of it.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So how
was it for you? Do you remember these little speeches?
Well, it was weird. I remember the speech. I remember her being stricter. And I remember just my hopes being dashed when it would be Diane, because I knew that I would not try to push her buttons anyway, even without the speech, because I didn't want to lose certain privileges I had in being your friend coming to your house. I didn't want her to get mad at me in class and then not allow me to come over and eat the bacon bits. You remember how you had those bacon, like were they called Bacos? They're like the really crispy ones in your cabinet.
Yeah, they were not. It was not real bacon.
It wasn't like real bacon. It was
cat food.
Like, yeah, it was great, man. Real crunchy. I remember every time I went to your house, you would be eating all types of sweets and stuff in the kitchen, and I would just be going for those Bacos. I don't know, something about them. I would eat half the bottle of Bacos.
You really think that my mom would have been like, Link, you didn't behave today. You can't have Bacos. That's not even a realistic concern.
they meant so much to me. I did not want to jeopardize.
You could have just taken them home. We would have given them to you. You could have just had them. We didn't eat them. You ate out of the same bottle for like 4 years. Because the only person that ate the Bacos was you.
I didn't know that. I mean, I was not going to jeopardize that by just cutting up in class with the substitute, So I was on best behavior. I could have been like one of those, you know how when you train a dog and instead of whooping it, you just have a can of something and you shake it and it trains them?
I'm not familiar with this technique.
Yeah, you make a loud noise and that's how you train a dog. Dog whisperer type stuff, man.
They don't like the noise?
If my mom would have known that, all she would have had to do to train me as a kid was to just shake some Bacos. And that could be my parenting technique. Get my kids hooked on sodium-laced Bacos and then just shake them whenever they do something wrong.
You implement that system and then get back to us on how well it's working.
Well, we had a great conversation with Harley. We're going to play a clip from it here in a second to entice you to go over to SoundCloud or iTunes and listen to it. Matter of fact, let's just roll it right now.
Okay.
I was substituting for my brother, and I'm sitting at the desk, and this these kids come in, and I'm kind of setting up, and this kid walks in like real slow, like cigarette on his ear, and he looks over at me, and he goes, "Who's this?" Like to everyone, and that's like major offense, right? So I'm there, and I'm having my first confrontation live in high school. Me versus unknown 14-year-old.
Former me.
Yeah. He's got a cigarette on his ear, and I'm like, got like a pink polo shirt tucked in to like dress pants. And I'm like,
why did you wear a pink shirt?
Because I was just doing it. Like, I just needed something fancy. It was one of the only things I had that had a collar on it.
That'll do it.
And I'm just there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear it. And I'm just kind of like humming. Let that slide, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. And then so like they're just loud kids and stuff like that. And I'm like, trying to get control. No one's controlling. So I was taught in elementary education, not high school. So I go over and I shut the lights off and cross my arms because that's what you do in elementary school. If you were in high school, there's no windows in the room. The lights are off for like a split second when I'm like, oh, it's pitch black. Turn back on. Desks, like 4 desks got flipped over and like everyone's standing. Like just instantly. And I'm like, oh man, I'm blowing it.
Okay, so now the ball is in your court. I mean, this is how it works. You have a decision to make. You can just go on about your day and do something productive, or you can go listen to our podcast.
Or you can do something productive while listening to the Ear Biscuits.
Yep.
I mean, that's the beauty of it.
People ask us, how come you guys don't video these things? Well, because we do them in our underwear is the first reason. And the second reason is because we want you to do something productive while you listen to it. You can't watch and listen to it and do something productive, but you can do whatever you want to that doesn't require your ears if you just turn on the Ear Biscuits.